Finally, after a year of grinding in the junk removal business, hauling everything from busted couches to hoarder houses, I cracked the code. What started as just another side hustle turned into a real business, but not without mistakes, headaches, and a whole lot of learning along the way. Now, I'm sharing everything I've learned so far, the wins, the failures, and the lessons they don't teach you in school. So, if you're a hustler, a go-getter, or someone looking to turn trash into treasure, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Strong Back Nation podcast, the show where we talk junk and build empires. I'm your host, Todd Cardon. Stay strong, stay hungry, and keep building. Welcome to episode 1 of the Junk Removal Podcast that has no name yet. My name is Todd. I am your host. And today we're going to talk about how I got started in junk removal. And I'm glad I'm starting this because I wanted to have a place where I had a voice of where I could kind of share some ideas and, not get caught up in having to put out videos like on YouTube. And so the easiest way for me to do this, I thought, was, well, I'm on the road a lot. Let's just record while I'm driving as I'm just commuting back and forth. Anyway, so I know the past year and a half, I've learned a lot from some amazing individuals on YouTube and podcasts, things like that. So I wanted to kind of share my perspective of kind of what I've done, and hopefully those of you who are listening, you're either just learning about it or you're just getting started, or you may even be a few years in and beyond. So how I got started. So my background is in marketing. So I've been, like, my career, I've had marketing jobs on and off for the past 10 years. And then as of recent, the last 3 years of my corporate career was data. So I was a business intelligence analyst at Oracle or Cerner, then it merged and became Oracle. And then for a health marketing agency for a few months. And then after that, I dived into junk removal. But in order to do that, I had to come up with a game plan. And so I educated myself a lot, most likely like you have done or are doing. And I kind of put together a plan of what I needed to do. So by the time it came to actually running it, I had a plan of what I needed to do. So what I did was, the job I had, they let me go, which I can get into another episode, kind of how that concluded. But basically by that point, I had a plan of what to do to keep the cash flow coming in, because I have 6 kids and I live on a property, and I had to immediately have a plan of what I needed to do. So during that time, I was still getting the junk removal business set up, the LLC and the bank account and all that kind of stuff, ordering hats and t-shirts and yard signs and just kind of doing all that stuff. So during that time, I dove into rideshare. So I had, at the time, a Toyota Camry. It was a stick shift. It was pretty fun. It was 2007. And then a Honda Odyssey van. It's a 2013. And so I used both of those for rideshare. So what I did was I immediately just started driving Uber primarily to maintain the cash flow that I had kind of in my corporate jobs, which is kind of crazy to think about, because but I had to put in a lot of hours. I was driving 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, starting out while getting the junk removal business established. And that was the fall of 2023. Once I kind of got established with the business, I was testing out different marketing tactics to get some leads coming in and appointments. And so once I did that, I was getting jobs here and there, getting comfortable with taking phone calls and doing the job. And the job itself, the skill set you need a strong body, or you need, it's physically demanding on your body. So, but that, for me, that's not a problem. I quite enjoy that. I consider it my workout. But I was getting comfortable with the jobs, what I needed to do, how to handle the customers, how to enter their information. So I just started with Workies. They had a free version that I just entered their information, and then I just started doing jobs. So what I did was I was driving Uber. I would start at like 4 a.m, and then I'd go to like noon or maybe a little bit longer. And then what I did with the junk removal was I started scheduling jobs in the afternoon. So 3 to 5 p.m. would be the first job, and then 1 to 3 p.m. the second job, and so on. And so if I only had 1 or 2 jobs a day, at least I had guaranteed cash flow coming in from the rideshare, and then I could just do jobs in the afternoon. And so that kind of stabilized my income a little bit. I didn't have to just rely on the junk removal business, which is really unstable, like starting out, and just unpredictable. But rideshare, I could predict exactly how much money was going to come in and how many hours I needed to put in to hit my numbers that I needed to hit. So I was doing that, and then eventually spring came, March. I got a lot of marketing channels kind of started. I started out with Google local service ads, which can be kind of expensive if you don't know like how to the settings. I set it where I wouldn't pay more than $50 a lead. Before that, it was like crazy amount, like $80 and beyond. But there's a way you can adjust it where you can decrease the lead cost of the phone calls coming in. And I set it where I wouldn't take any appliance jobs or donations, anything like that. So just got to make sure your settings are dialed in with that. So that was one channel. And then I also did, what else did I do at that time? That was kind of the main one that I started out with. I did Yelp. It's like the free account. And then every now and again, a notification would come of somebody needing some junk removed in the area. So I'd occasionally just pay for the lead that way. So I got me some jobs going that way. And then I put out yard signs. And so I also, of course, got my website set up and all that kind of stuff. The business Google business profile set up. And then I set up all the social profiles. And I think that was it at the time to get the leads coming in. So it really picked up in March, almost to full time pretty much, because I was running ads and leads were coming in. I got yard signs coming out. I got a basic sign ordered. I ordered 100 of them, and I put out I think 50 at a time, and just kind of all over. And so that's helpful. And so that was trickling in calls. And so collectively, the leads were coming in. So March picked up almost to full time, and then it just went up from there. All right, I'm back. I had to pause for a minute to take a phone call. So yeah, so it really took off in spring. I think that's what I was talking about. If I'm jumping around, sorry about that. March, April took off, and then so 80 to 100% of rideshare became 20% efforts in rideshare. So like I would mostly be doing junk removal during the day, and then just kind of on the side is what the rideshare ended up being. So what I did was I cranked out the jobs every month and used a few different tools, and things got really busy during the summer. And then eventually, like in July, I didn't know this, but it kind of took hold on. Sorry, that was my window. But yeah, July kind of slowed down a little bit, and so I had to figure out what I needed to do there to get the momentum going again. So and part of that was the ad agency I was using, Perfect Click, which you may like or don't like. I think they're okay. Get to low cost leads. I don't rely on them solely to fill up my schedule, but they do good. They get me some leads every month, 20 to 40 leads or so. So in addition to that, I started running Facebook ads, and I started using, what are they called? It's another agency. I'll have to figure out what their name is. I don't remember what their names were, but they were running my ads for 2 months, and then eventually I just took over and had somebody help me run the ads, and then eventually I just started running them myself. And so that was a good lead source as well. The fall and winter of 2024, I took some time to build out my Google Ads campaign and my landing page. So I got that set up so that I can start running all the channels, which is what I'm doing now. So, and all these marketing channels, I'm not like maxing out the budgets. Like Google, there's no way. Like I have, $30 to $40 a day. I know everybody recommends at least 100 or 200. I'm fine with that because I have so many other marketing channels working in my favor that I'm not relying solely on just one channel. And so whatever leads come in, I'm okay with, because collectively I'm getting leads from kind of 5 different sources that I can control, paid sources. Maybe not 5, 4. So I've got Google Ads, Google Local Service Ads, Facebook Ads, and then the Perfect Click agency. So I'm running that as well. And between those 4 things, that's kind of a more what I can control, and have each of those kind of set as like not a minimum budget, but just kind of a medium budget for each of those things. And so I compare that to like a car, like a 4-cylinder engine. Like if you just have like a commuter car and you're trying to go to 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, that's not going to happen because the engine's not powerful enough. But you could push the gas all the way, you'll get there, but it's going to put strain on your engine. But if you're in like a sports car, like a Ferrari or something with a V12 or even a V8, it's more powerful. Each piston is going to be working together and more power collectively to get you to where you need to go. So collectively, all the marketing channels are working together and I'm diversifying, and I'm not relying solely on one channel to get the leads that I need to get to fill my schedule. So yeah, things are kind of slow because it's winter right now, but I'm still able to fill out my schedule and get phone calls and kind of keep the momentum going, and while also filling in the gaps with rideshare. So no matter what, like, I can still have cash flow coming in until things really pick up, and I can just, ideally in the summer like I did last year, just do junk removal, because I'd really like to just do that and hit my numbers. So I don't really like sharing numbers, but I know you like to hear kind of the results. That's usually motivating. So my results aren't like earth-shattering of what I did last year, but it was enough to, pay the bills and support my family of 6 kids, and just kind of what I have to pay for, which I was pretty happy with. So the junk business in 2024 generated 80,000, which is, anywhere from like $7,000 to $12,000 a month of gross revenue. And then the rideshare was 20K, so that helped a lot. So collectively between the two businesses, 100K. So that worked out. And yeah, you're gonna say, oh yeah, there's a lot of marketing expenses and gas and dump fees and all that kind of stuff. It was enough. I kept an eye on things. I adjusted where things need to be adjusted, and kept track of what I could do to take monthly draws and cover expenses and all that kind of stuff. And so if you haven't really done that before, it's kind of tricky. My first marketing job, I was running Google ads, email marketing, and other types of marketing for a ski company in Colorado. And so the way they had it set up was I would manage the budget by percent of sales. So I could only use the marketing budget based on the sales coming in, a certain percentage, versus just like a fixed cost. So I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm trying to keep my budget within like 10% of my monthly gross income, and then just kind of adjust from there. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. But yeah, that's how I got started. I started a year and a half ago. I bought a landscaping trailer. So this landscaping trailer is a 16-footer. It's not a utility trailer. Like, I looked into those and I was going to build up these walls, but I found on Marketplace, I found this landscaping trailer, this 16-foot beautiful green trailer with these 4-foot walls. And so I'm like, whoa, that's 16 cubic yards, what it could fit. And so I got that one for way cheaper than if you were to buy like a dump trailer, or and beyond, if you want to get a dump truck or anything like that. So I started with that, and then got some signs put up on there, and went to town. So that's kind of how I got started. My plan for this year is, right now I'm just kind of running all the campaigns right now just to get the schedule filled out. I know it's going to get easier, like I experienced this last year when it warmed up, spring and summer. Referrals and repeats and organic went crazy. That increased, and I felt like I wasn't trying to force phone calls. I was just naturally getting them. And I don't know, like, I have a website, and and my Google business profile set up. And and another thing, after every job, I asked for a review. So right now I have 95 reviews. So I think that helps too, build credibility. Yeah, so I think that helps. So going into this year, so I'm going to be pushing hard Google Ads, Google Local Service Ads, Facebook Ads, the agency, and then just whatever else organically or just the smaller ones I can do to fill out the schedule. The other thing I'm going to try to do is practice closing a little bit better with sales. I think what helped with the sales part, which I still don't think I'm very good, but I sold pest control for a few summers a long time ago. But I think that helped to kind of, build rapport when I'm talking to the customers, but what I'm really trying to do is I'm just going to try to push to schedule an appointment to come quote on site. I've done so many phone calls where I just give them an estimate over the phone. Like, I see a picture, and I know that's probably not the best way to do it, but the weak side of me says, well, at least I know they're good on the price, and at least I know that they're not going to cancel because we've already talked about everything. But I'm going to really try to push to not give them a price over the phone and try to quote on site. And I think that will, once they see the truck and once they see everything, they'll be more comfortable paying the price that I quote them at when I'm there. Anyway, so that is how I started, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. I think in future episodes, I've got some interesting takes on what I do and what I plan to do. Like right now I have 350 customers in my CRM, and this spring I'm planning to send a mass text out to everybody, just telling them hey, there's the spring cleaning route is in your area this week. Because I sent a mass text right after New Year's saying, hey, we got a new truck. And, there's a lot of people excited, oh yeah, come spring, I can't wait to see you. We'll be ready for you. So, but anyway, so that was just kind of a good way for me to kind of send a reminder that, hey, I'm still around and can help you guys out whenever you're ready. But yeah, in the spring, I will send a text out and say, hey, I'm going to be in your area with the spring cleaning route. And I bet you anything, I'll be able to get at least 5 to 10 jobs from that, because a lot of people will be ready. So I guess the beginning of the year, it's still kind of beginning of the year, it's February. My goal for this year is 250,000. That's a lofty goal, it's just me. But if I don't set a goal that high, then I know that I will not get near to that number. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. That's 15, 20K a month. That should be doable. I should be able to do that. My goal, what makes it easy for me to try to hit that goal is I just focus daily on trying to hit numbers. So every day I'm okay, what do I need to do to hit $800 to $1,000 a day? And so this should be pretty easy, because if I have 4 jobs a day at 250, or 200 even, 4 jobs, that's 800. And, I know there's expenses and, depending on where they're at, you got to factor that into it. But that is my goal, and that is what I plan to do. I'll come up with a list of other things to talk about. I know there's a lot, from my perspective, from data, from marketing, and there's a lot of other things I'd like to talk about. One little thing I want to mention is, so when you're sending out a text campaign, if you've been running your business for a year and you have a database of customers already to remarket to, I've noticed, here's the little trick. If you're just starting out, make sure every customer, you talk to them like they're your best friend. And if you get every single person to just be your best friend with, and you send a text message, there's there's going to be 300 or however many people you have that year that's your best friend that just can't, that would love to hear from you, versus just, hey, my name's Todd, where's the couch? It's going to be this much. Have a good day. I mean, if you treat every customer like that, then you're going to send a text message to everybody, and they're like more than almost at least half of them are just going to be like, unsubscribe. Like, I don't really know who you are. Oh yeah, you're that person. I think you came that like 3 months ago or 6 months ago. But if you're to treat every customer like you care about them and they're your best friend, then you're going to have way more success with the marketing, the communication that you put out to all your customers. And it's going to build value, build your brand, build reputation. And that's all I got. So until next time, hopefully that's helpful. I think it's fun for me because like I'm not really doing anything in the truck, just driving. I'm in the truck a lot, just driving a lot. And I get kind of tired of just listening to the same stuff over and over and pass the time. So hopefully that'll pass the time for you too. And we'll see you next time.